Hey everybody, Gabe Jenkins back with you to talk about AutoCAD. We're just starting off on our AutoCAD careers, which is really exciting. We have this whole brand new CAD program that we get to learn and get really comfortable with. And I know you don't know anything about it really yet, but we're working and we're going to get to the point where you get really fluent and really comfortable with it. It's an important program used in industry, and it's an important thing for you to be able to do well. We're going to start off with a really simple task today. We're going to just learn how to use the line tool, how to draw a line in AutoCAD. We're going to kind of pause at that point before we get into circles and arcs and all that other stuff. How do we change things? How do we make a bigger, smaller mirror copies? How do we make things stretched or different scales? All that stuff. Those are going to be in later videos. We really want to just take the time to just make sure we understand the line tool today. But because it's a very straightforward tool, I'm going to try to use it as an opportunity to think about your settings down here at the bottom as well. The settings can make the difference between making drawing really easy or hard. It allows you to change a lot of the way that AutoCAD thinks about things and the way it interprets what you're trying to do. So it just really makes things, it allows you to set things up and customize your screen the way you want it to work. So we're going to spend more time talking about that today, all right? So my goal for today, just to be super clear, you're going to learn how to use the line tool to create a line with a known length and a known angular measurement, okay? How far up from the horizontal is that angle, okay? Those are going to be useful things to be able to do, certainly for a couple of early assignments, and I'm going to make sure that you know how to do it. So the way we're going to start, we got our origin down here, and we got our line, whole drawing set of tools up here. The line tool is right up here at the top. I'm going to click that, and as soon as I click it, you see that the command bar says specify first point. Now we have a choice right now. We can just click anywhere I want and start my line. See, I can click there and start a line and draw it there. Cool. I can do that. But one other thing it says specify your first point. So we know that the other day, if we just typed in the origin, 0, 0, it'll start a line at the origin, which is in many ways, if you've taken the time to think about how you're going to strategically plan out a design or a drawing on your AutoCAD workspace, if the first element you want to draw is centered on the origin, it can make a lot of things a lot easier. And so very often I try to figure out the strategy for the drawing, and I try to start my entire drawing on the origin, but it's not at all necessary. All right. So you see, I've set the first point. It's asking me to set my next point. I'm not going to do it with Cartesian coordinates. I'm not going to do it with X's and Y's anymore because that's crazy. Instead, what we're going to do is I want you to just see, if I am moving my cursor around, my crosshair around, it's tracking me. It's trying to figure out where I want to end my line. It knows where I started it. It wants to know where I want to end it. Now, I can just click anywhere, but I don't want to do that quite yet. I want you to notice a couple of things. I have my settings so that whenever I go horizontal, you can probably see a little green line that extends upward from there, even beyond where my cursor is. Even if I'm not directly on that green line, that directly vertical line, it's letting me know that it thinks I want to draw a vertical line, okay? So if I click here, it's going to make it vertical, even if my cursor is not exactly vertical. It does the same thing horizontally, right? So if I clicked here, it's going to make a horizontal line. I have my settings set so that as soon as I get to a 45-degree angle, it'll do the same thing at a 45-degree angle, just like that. That's a setting, though. You can change that setting if you want to, and it's not hard to do at all. If you see a little circle here with an angle on it, and you click the drop-down menu, you can change what settings you want it to be. Do you want it just to kind of snap to 90 and 180 and 270 degrees? Some people kind of just like those basic ones. 30, 60, 90, 120. Those are super helpful if you are drawing an isometric drawing, which we'll get to a little bit later in the class, but we're not doing that right now. So I leave mine set here at 45, 45, 90, okay? Now you can turn that feature on or off just by clicking it off or back on. If it's blue, it's on, right? If I've turned it off, even if I go past the horizontal, it doesn't highlight that for me. But I like it to highlight it for me because it makes my drawing easier, okay? One other thing you notice probably as I'm moving around. Right now, it's hard to tell how long my line is. Like in the first drawings, it's like there's one line that's 46 units long and one that's 42 units long. I can't tell that right now. Something you can do to change that is if you go down to here, there's a little setting button called the dynamic input, on or off. If it's blue, it's on. It was off. But if I click it and make it blue, see what happens now, right? Now, as I move my cursor around, I can see that there's two little dialog boxes asking me two questions. It's asking me, the first box, the one that's blue right now, is how long do you want this line to be? Okay. The next line, the one that currently says a little less than, which is an angle symbol, angle of 41, what do you want the angle to be as measured up from the horizontal? So let's say I want my first line to be, we'll say 700 units long. Okay, cool. It made it 700 units long. So I typed in 700, enter, and it made it right there. I didn't specify the angle yet. I just said 700. Notice what it does now too. It assumes that I want to create a new line starting right where that old one left off. I don't have to go back and use coordinate pairs again to say, oh, next line, I want to start right there. It just assumes that I want to make a new line. Now, I'm going to make a horizontal line that goes straight from there, and let's make this one 200 units long. So I type in 200, hit enter, and now it made a line. Even though I wasn't at 200, it made it 200 long. Now, I'm going to make a line that goes down. No, let's go up. Let's go up one more time because I'm going to change the angle this time. So I'm going to go up and we'll say 300 right now to 200. Now I'm not going to hit enter yet. I'm going to hit tab and watch what happens. If I hit tab, it knows that I want to make a 300 unit long line, but it doesn't know what the angle is. It's waiting for me to specify what that angle is going to be. Okay, so it's keeping it 300, but it's not fixing the angle yet until I tell it what to do because I tabbed over to that angular measurement line. Now, this is how AutoCAD thinks of angles and polar coordinates, basically. Straight out to the right here from where I am. So my starting point of line is right there. If I'm going straight out to the right, that's a 0 angle, 0 degree angle, okay? If I go up, you can see it's moving up 17, 18, 20, 30, 40. Right there is 45, okay? And if I keep on going around, 90 degrees is straight up, 180 is to the left. This is a negative 90, okay? And I'm back to 0. So let's make this 36 degrees. As soon as I type in 36, I can go back to if I hit tab, it's going to go back to the length. If I hit enter, it's going to set everything, it's going to lock it in, and it's going to make that line, okay? So I've made 3 lines right now, and it thinks I want to do another one. I don't want to make it do another one, but that's okay. Actually, you know what, we'll do this. I'll show you one more thing. If I go down, I can make it go straight vertically down, and it's just going to keep on going vertical. I have my settings set so that I can start to lock it into different points. It can snap to different points. So if you saw what I did right there, I went down, I went over here to the origin, kind of hovered over the origin for a second, and it showed me where the origins, where it is on the horizontal plane right there. So I've made it so I can lock in so that it's parallel, it's even with that origin point. So I can do that as well. I can lock in there, and if I wanted to close it up, I could do that. I want to stop this line for a second, okay? Because I want to show you a couple of things, right? It's a whole bunch of, it's several lines. I've showed you how to lock in. Let's say if I want to just draw a new line and I want to make it I want to make it, let's say 200 units long at a 48 degree up from the horizontal angle. So if I click starting point, what did I say? Let's say 450, tab, 48, enter, and it has now drawn that line. I'm exiting by hitting the escape button. Anytime you want to get out of anything in AutoCAD, just hit the escape button. So I got this line, right? And it's there. It knows exactly where, AutoCAD knows where it is. If I click on it, I can change some of the settings. I can change its length again. I can change its angle. So I click it there if I wanted to change it that way. If I click the middle button, it's not going to change the left or right points at all. It's just going to let me kind of pick it up and move it, right? That's if it's a line. Now I want you to see one more thing before I end up here. If I click here, escape, I've got two lines. I've got this line and I've got this line. AutoCAD thinks of those things as separate lines, even though they're connected, right? It thinks of them as separate. So if I pick up this point here and move it, okay, I'm moving it, right? But I'm moving both lines. They're connected, right? All right. So that's done. I'm going to get rid of all of that because I don't need those anymore. Move. Okay. So we got lines. We got lines of specified length. We got lines of specified angle. A couple more settings to think about here. If you want to see your grid in the background, it doesn't show up so well against the background. If you want to see the grid, you can turn the grid, display the grid on. Now, this other button right next to the grid line allows you to snap to the grid lines. I don't like this tool because it limits where I'm able to start and end lines, but you'll see what happens. If I want to make a line, I've got the polar. Okay. So if I want to make a line right here, it's only letting me, you can see, it's not, the movement is not as fluid because it's only allowing me to snap on certain grid lines. I can't just make a line whatever I want to make because it's only allowing me to snap to certain spots. I don't like that button, so I don't use it. One that is incredibly important that I want you to look at, and if you want to just make all the same settings I do, is this one that looks like a square with a little tiny square on the top left. These are my snap settings, okay? That means that whenever I start or end a line, if I want to see where a whole bunch of other things are, I need to be able to snap to those things. So if I want to be able to snap any line I'm drawing to an endpoint of an existing structure, or if I want to find the midpoint and snap to that, if I want to be able to click on the center of a circle or the geometric center of a rectangle, I need these things to be clicked. If they're not clicked, AutoCAD is not going to show you where those things are. I have these things clicked. These are my settings I've been using because I think they're helpful. I make sure that endpoint, midpoint, center point, geometric center, quadrant, that's like left, right, top, or bottom of a circle, intersection between two things, an extension, you can unclick extension. Perpendicular, useful. Tangent, very useful. I'm going to click off of that one. These are the settings I use really regularly, and as soon as you like these settings, you can just click here to get rid of them. You can turn those on or off by making this blue or clear. I like them on because it makes my drawing life so much easier. So as you go forward, make sure that the snap settings are on. Make sure that your settings are kind of the way I want them. You might choose to do different things in the future, but that's up to you. And that's it. All right, so that's the line tool. We can start, we can end, we can adjust it, we can kind of move it around if we want to. Notice what happened here. Because it thinks of these two things as different lines, I started them and ended them at different points. When I moved one, it didn't move the other one. But if I click here and want to move it back to here and I want to snap it onto that other one, because my settings are snapped, I can snap it right back on there. Really useful. All right. Hey, everybody. That's our first thing we're doing. I know there's a long one, but I tried to help you understand the settings. This whole video could be done in about a minute, but I wanted to try to talk you through it a little bit more. All right, everybody. Have a great day. and I'll see you in class.